Greetings to all my viewers on Zamir Universal. First of all, my apologies for not having well and been able to connect with you, although lot of water has flown under the bridge. The world is upside down by two mad people which the society let them loose like stray dogs. Normally, it is the duty of the municipal corporation to either quarantine those stray animals because they carry rabies and can bite you, and even you have to have many injections in your belly, which is very, very painful, or you have to put them to rest, which is painful, but there is no other solution. One of them is the one which you selected second time, and the other one is the one who is, I think, fifth time, and is a Polish immigrant with his long ears like an alien, his father the same, and he changed his name from Kloski to Netanyahu. One of the cruelest, the dirtiest, I think, in whole history of.
Mr. President, how do you know that the Palestinians don't want to leave their land? Some people say this is ethnic cleansing. You won't be able to force them to leave their land.
We're moving them to a beautiful location where they have new homes, where they can live safely, where they'll have doctors and medical and all of those things, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, any questions?
You said before that the U.S. would buy Gaza, and today you just said we're not going to buy Gaza.
We're not going to have to buy. We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy. We will have Gaza.
What does that mean?
No reason to buy. There is nothing to buy. It's Gaza. It's a war-torn area. We're going to take it. We're going to hold it. We're going to cherish it.
And Mr. President, take it under what authority? It is sovereign territory.
Under the U.S. authority.
In 1999, British Gas estimated that there's 1.1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas off the coast of Gaza in the Gaza Marina. They got a contract 26 years ago to get that gas, but Palestinians haven't seen anything since. There's also 1.7 billion barrels of oil, they reckon, off the coast of Gaza. So if Israel takes Gaza, depopulates it and just annexes it, then it gets access to all those resources. There's also another oil and gas deposit in the West Bank called Meged, which Israel has taken and used because they argue it's west of the 1948 armistice line. But this is a colonial project, and colonial projects are about stealing land, but even more they're about stealing resources and making sure that indigenous people have no access to their resources. Look at what happened in the United States with Native Americans. Their reservations are all on the most arid land with no resources, and they chucked them a few casinos to try and keep them happy. Obviously that didn't work, but that's what you're seeing in West Bank and Gaza. And I think that unless the world stops Israel, their plan will work, because no one seems to stop them. Nothing they do, doesn't matter how many kids they kill, doesn't matter how many people they starve, doesn't matter how many starving people they kill, no one says stop. So the West is complicit in this plan of ethnic cleansing, this plan of total genocide that is going to end Palestinian people and will be the final solution that Zionism has sought since Israel's created. But I believe that the shadow of this genocide, the shadow of what they're doing, will eventually destroy Zionism itself. We've seen nearly 2 years of Israeli genocide in Gaza perpetrated by a far-right fascistic regime backed by Washington, London, Berlin and plenty of other Western capitals. We need to fight back against the system that allows that to happen. But first we need a population which is informed about what is happening. Part of the reason they've been allowed to get away with it is because the media repeats their lies and doesn't cover the deep participation of those governments. At Deep Dive, we're all about investigating and exposing our own government and Western governments' complicity and participation in the crimes that Israel is committing in Palestine. But there's many obstacles to this. One of the main ones is funding. So we need you to help us keep reporting independently and promoting Palestinian voices against an industry which wants to silence them and us, who are revealing the truth about what's going on in Gaza and Palestine more generally.
But why is the destruction then? I'm sorry. Why is the destruction? It looks like a
because of our tanks attack.
Fight on them.
Yeah, because they were blocked in these houses, and we need to conquer back the whole settlement, and
Okay.
it couldn't be happened without the tanks.
Okay.
So how many were here, and then how many survived? How many did you?
No
were
one
you able-
survived from this house. From other buildings, we rescued many. But from this house, 19 people died, among them 8 children.
Federal law enforcement swarming the streets of D.C., concern grows about the possibility of a federal takeover. On Monday, sources tell WUSA 9's Lorenzo Hall they expect the president to announce that the National Guard will be deployed in the district. Although no signs exist, they have been activated as of this report. This comes as the Trump administration reassigns 120 FBI agents to nighttime patrol duty as part of a crackdown on street crime. On Sunday morning, Trump declared on Truth Social that, quote, the homeless have to move out immediately, end quote. The post follows comments Trump made last month regarding the homeless community.
I think it's terrible, and we'll have them removed immediately. We do remove it. We've got to get the mayor to run this city properly. This city has to be run. You know, I have the right to take it over.
However, Jesse Rabinowitz of the National Homelessness Law Center says this approach would only hurt some of the city's most
mankind ever since the world started from Prophet Adams to this time. There hasn't been a cruel, a dirty, a filthy, an intriguer, a lawyer man than this person. No wonder. He has no care for the human life. And when the Italian Prime Minister, a kind woman, said this thing, that this man has to be punished because he is killing the one who already been killed in the last 22 months by day and night bombardment. No habitat, no house has been left intact. In fact, he is paying the demolition squads to demolish them, so it is uninhabitable even for a cat or a dog or an animal. He destroyed all the sewerage, all the electricity going, the oxygen going to them, even baby food going to them, medicines, all hospitals, all mosques, all churches, all bakeries, all schools, all colleges, all universities, everything which thing is there for life. And when March 2025, this animal crossed all the limits, and he is on a chain, a puppy dog, and you'll be amazed that the owner of that puppy dog or leash which lets him loose is your own president, another mad dog, who's never been ever nominated, a womanizer, like immoral, child molester, tax evader, a property dealer. Money is everything for him, like a prostitute. And see what he did. Has ever there been people attacking when the Congress is in session and the Speaker, and they had to run for their life, including even the Vice President Pence? And what did he do? He ordered the feds to come and shoot them, and not shoot the people who broke the glasses and came in to attack, but shoot anybody who tries to stop them, because they were his constituents, the white supremacists from all around the rural areas, which believe that the white race is the supreme race and he represents them. Now see what this filthy dog has done to you. What did he do to the people? How he chained them, how he put them on the planes and forced them and threw them out. Highly educated, trained, no matter India is not a friendly country of many neighbors, including Pakistan, but even Nepal, even with China, is at daggers drawn with at least 12 countries. Bangladesh, he stops their water. He is another rabid dog, Narendra Modi. And this is his 4th or 5th term. Anti-Christians, anti-Dalits, anti-Sikhs, anti-Muslims, anti-Kashmiris, anti-life. The only life for him is the cow, or cow's urine, cow's dung. And an RSS ideology that Hindu is a superior race, just like Hitler, that he had those blue-eyed Aryans as the race. And same thing is adopted by this another dog on the chain, and the master is Donald Trump. Green light to go and kill, green light to go and commit genocide, go night and starve them, go night to give me a whole of Gaza Strip after killing everybody or pushing them in the desert or drowning them in the ocean or killing one by one or starving them to death. Give me this strip so that I can build the Trump villas, beach houses, because he has another filthy, dirty Jew in his house, Jared Kushner, as his, who converted his daughter. He says she's busty, and if she wasn't my daughter, she's the one, a woman I like, I would have dated her. So you can see how immoral and how criminal and how sexually, oversexed this man abnormal he is, which you selected. And when somebody shows that the pre-tariff price was, let's as an example, $7, and I'll show you in one of the videos, and post-tariff is the same cloth or shirt or a jean is $14. He wants to attack them. He said, why you show? Now the poor people says that these $7 extra we have to pay. You are collecting the tariff as taxes and sending it to your illegitimate child and sending Israel to kill people, to genocide, to support your golf things with resorts you want, and you are building in Scotland, in India, and God knows whichever, in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Is there any place in the world you are, and you've forgotten that you are immortal and are going to die? Already you have crossed mid-70s and lost your conscience. So there's the 3 rabid dogs are destroying the world, and I will just tell you what is going to happen. It's no point at this stage recognizing the state of Palestine or the Italian Prime Minister saying that this is the time now, no rhetoric, no recognition, but Netanyahu, who has no respect for human life, must be punished. It's no point in sanctions. The easiest solution is to take these rascals and these animals back from Europe, from where they came to Palestine. If you do that, then obviously the problem, but no Western country or European country wants a Jew in their country now. This is why they blame Hitler to push them out. And it wasn't just Hitler. Do what they did in the Russian Revolution, how many millions they killed. See how they spit on the Christians, every Christian must worship us. See how they and bomb your churches. See how they kill the people and how they round up the young Muslim girls from West Bank returning from school and colleges are there, take them, idea of soldiers, laughing as they are sheep, bake them to be naked, parade, then choose them whichever they like, they're behind or front or top, and then rape them and then ultimately kill them, remove their kidneys, remove their bones, remove their lungs, heart, everything they sell to go for transplant, and you never ever see. And I think the God's curse may fall on the 57 Muslim countries. But one single Muslim girl was in the Khyber fort, insulted only, not raped, insulted. And when the guys went and told the Prophet that this is what happened in the Khyber fort outside skirts of Medina, and there was a siege of that fort. Every Jew was, by the orders of the Jew elders, put on the sword, and his head was cut, and the fort is still empty.
רגילה כבר להגיד פה שאני קטנה. כן, נכון? שלא יבקשו יעני תעודת זהות? שלא יגידו יעני ג'יב עוויה? אנה זריר?
أنا صغير
טוב, סבעתס? סבעתס. قديش بس؟ 15 شكرا لك. بالذات. عاد בת 19.
בת 15.
איזה כוס?
كمان للناس اللي بيقولوا عنهم احنا رجال الدين، احنا مشايخ هذه الامه، احنا معنا شهادات ومعنا دكتوراه ومعنا يعني مراتب طيبه، احنا كل الناس بتحبنا. انت بتطلع لي في المساجد، انت بتطلع لي في المساجد ايش تتكلم؟ بتطلع لي على منصات التواصل الاجتماعي ايش تتكلم؟ عن الوضوء، عن التوبه. هذا شيء عظيم باسلامنا، ولكن هذا الاشي ما بيغنيك عن انه انت تنصر اخوانك في شمال غزة. اخوانك في شمال غزة قاعدين هنا بنباد وبيد، دقنا اصناف الموت، ناس منا انحرقت، ناس منا ماتت، في ناس عطشانة، في ناس جوعانة. والله العظيم ما تجرأ علينا عدونا الا بسكوتكم يا منافقين. اتقوا الله سبحانه وتعالى. والله العظيم لو انكم مش منافقين لنصرتم اهل فلسطين. والله العظيم لو انكم مش منافقين. اسمعوا، بدي اقول لكم كلمة، حتى ما تاخذونا بعلمكم، وما العلم مش بس اسم. انا عالم بالاسم، العلم بده افعال، الدين بده افعال، بده تضحية. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لك ايش؟ الجنة حفت بالمكاره. بدك الجنة بدون ما تدفع ثمن عايش. والله العظيم حرب غزة كشفت امثالكم الظلمة. إن انتوا سكوتكم كتلنا اكتر من المعاناة اللي احنا بنعاني فيها. انتوا مسكوتكم ذبحنا وحرق قلوبنا. انت بس بدك تقول عن حالك عالم في الامة وانت من مشايخ الامة. والله انكم كذابين ومنافقين. ليش؟ الله سبحانه وتعالى قال ايش؟ وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله والمؤمنين. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ايش قال لك؟ ما وقر في القلب صدقه العمل. ما وقر في القلب صدقه العمل. يعني انت لما بدك تقول لا اله الا الله بدك تعمل فيها. يعني انت لما بدك تقول انا عالم بدك تعمل في علمك، لانه انت حملت امانه بس خنت الامانه. بتعرف ليش انت منافق؟ النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ايش قال؟ قال صفات المنافقين ثلاث، بدي اذكر لك واحده منهم.
Why did Albert Einstein, a Jew, try to warn all of us years before JFK was assassinated that the greatest threat to the United States of America was extreme Zionist groups within Israel? Einstein's letter warning all of us has been largely ignored by history, redacted, if you will. It's been hidden. But JFK paid attention to this. He knew that Einstein was correct. And we know that JFK and RFK had a secret battle against Zionist extremism that's largely been covered up by history. Why is that? Hidden. So it's time to get a little uncomfortable today on the show, looking at the assassination of JFK and RFK and their secret battle against Zionist extremism that most people have no idea even exists. Today I'm joined by Ken McCarthy. He's the man who spent countless time and effort researching this, perhaps more than anyone else. His newest book is called JFK and RFK's Secret Battle Against Zionist Extremism. I have it here. It's an excellent read. Ken, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to go through what's amazing about this book is, you know, this isn't speculation. From a historical perspective, the countless, I mean, you can see my dog ears here, but just like countless real world documents that you've got in the book, letters from JFK to his father, all sorts of historical evidence in this book. I guess before we get into all of the details, how did you come to this research? How did you discover this sort of redacted history of all of this?
Well, like many people, I'm an avid reader of JFK assassination material, and I've always been a consumer. It never occurred to me to be a producer because there's so much of it, right? And I tend to focus on current events. But I was watching a YouTube video, and the fellow on there was talking, Richard Medhurst, by the way, was talking about a plan to use atomic bombs to build a canal from the Red Sea through Israel to the Mediterranean. And I thought, that's some crazy stuff. And then when I saw the date, I said, wait a minute, that was the Kennedy era. President Kennedy never would have gone for that. So then I did a search, and I looked up Kennedy, Israel, nuclear weapons. And if you do that search, you will find out that, in fact, John F. Kennedy was very concerned about Israel developing nuclear weapons. And not just a little concerned, he actually wrote it. It's in the book. We've got the telegram. Basically told the prime minister at the time, if you don't let us get in there and inspect your nuclear plant, we may cut off aid from you. So this was a serious diplomatic thing going on. Now, these documents were classified until relatively recently. So these are telegrams, cables, letters.
You can see the ruins of that. For one girl, imagine the followers of the same prophet. So 99% should get a ticket for the hell, whether it's MBS, Muhammad bin Salman. For them, the God is not the Almighty Creator who created the universe. Even for the Christians, it's not the God who had, Mother Mary, and then she gave birth without a father to, Prophet Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. They think that we did the right thing to kill Jesus, and we are proud, and because every Jew is, according to the Bible, they changed. It's written there that they must worship us. So this is what the West has been doing to them, sending and collecting taxpayers' money from their people, and they are starving, they are homeless. You can see their feces and fecal and urine coming out of that. See in California, see in the roadsides of New York, New Jersey, anywhere, even in North Carolina. You go to South Carolina, whichever part of the United States you go, you see them. Nobody collects them, nobody cleans them, nobody feeds them, nobody clothes them, but the money must go. You don't have to take an oath to be, loyal to the American Constitution. No, you must to that dog on the leash, your father, illegitimate son. Your father is Donald Trump, and the father, illegitimate son, is Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, and Smotrich. Three people, his own generals revolting, pilots revolting, public out, scholars going there, all industries, everybody's left, even Jews living outside, even the Haaretz, the main newspaper. But this man just opens his zip and couldn't give a damn, and he becomes so obscene and so rude. So it's about time that why this man must be either taken care of or like a rabid dog put to rest, not by any people, by the Jews, by the Israelis, by the Chief Justice, by their police, by their internal. They should do that. Now, since they didn't, and the America went along and did this, this is what I am going to give you a timeline for the destruction and breakup of, just like Roman Empire, how the Trump has already started and come midway in the break of this. The year 2051, I am giving you a timeline. The United States of America, which exists, it will exist only in history books. There will be no civil war, no invasion of United States, no single moment when America ended, just a slow fracturing which is occurring already. This sets the feds to take over Los Angeles. He has taken over now Washington, and it's New York and Chicago he is going to do next. And he's already said, then I will put a whole country under martial law. So a dictator never gets an approval of the Congress or Senate. Executive order, executive order, executive order, and you have no allies, neither in Europe, nor you have in Japan, not even South Korea. Even India has spitted on your face. China and Russia already did it. So no country in the world you have anything respect. And see what Spain has done to you, and they did the right thing. So what next is going to happen, that not a single moment when America ended, there will be no civil war. So if nobody should think there will be civil war or a single moment when America will end, there will be no outside force, neither Russian nor Chinese nor Iranian nor Indians. just a slow fracture, which, as I told you, already started by the mad king you have elected. That became too obvious to deny. The constitutional crisis of 2028 was the first crack. 7 states refused to certify federal election results. The concept of a unity or united country became fiction. The federal debt default of 2031 shattered the dollar's global status. By 2035, this water will erupt. It will erupt. Wars will erupt on water between the states. Southwestern states will break because of federal water sharing agreements, which will be stopped, will be finished, and survival will outweigh the union of these 52.
Federal law enforcement swarming the streets of D.C., concern grows about the possibility of a federal takeover. On Monday, sources tell WUSA 9's Lorenzo Hall they expect the president to announce that the National Guard will be deployed in the district. Although no signs exist, they have been activated as of this report. This comes as the Trump administration reassigns 120 FBI agents to nighttime patrol duty as part of a crackdown on street crime. On Sunday morning, Trump declared on Truth Social that, quote, the homeless have to move out immediately, end quote. The post follows comments Trump made last month regarding the homeless community.
I think it's terrible, and we'll have them removed immediately. We do remove it. We've got to get the mayor to run this city properly. This city has to be run. You know, I have the right to take it over.
However, Jesse Rabinowitz of the National Homelessness Law Center says this approach would only hurt some of the city's most
تريجي لك مغلاقين كوش يعني كتانا נכון? שלא יבקשו يعني תעודת זהות? שלא יגידו يعني جيب هوية? أنا صغير?
أنا صغير
طب 17 قديش ده؟ 15 شكرا عليك عاد بد شعي صغير إذا كوس
States of United States, which you see today. The West Coast will be separated first and a digital republic bound to Asian markets. The Southern coalition assembled around Texas, a nation of faith, oil, and armed borders. Their laws cite scripture where federal precedents once stood. The Atlantic Union formed from the Northeast, a banking federation connected to Europe, not the American interior. Their aging population embraced will technocracy over democracy and liberty redefined as efficient management. And see what's happening to America now with that mad king in charge. The Midwest will be fragmented into isolated territories. Some will thrive as agriculture city-states, others will collapse as water grew scarce, and suburbs became fortified communities. Highways will become trade routes with checkpoints, walls between these newly formed countries. The transition will happen in everyday moments. No one will notice. Interstate travel will require enhanced identification at the borders by year 2033. Regional currencies will appear by 2035. School maps will be redrawn. In 2042, family reunions will become international event by 2045. An American will become a historical term by 2049. Only a national archives, you will see that
every child in Gaza. You put the 7th Fleet in the South China Sea isn't going to change that. The American empire is over. We're done. We peaked about 12, 15 years ago, and we are on a down. And it's very hard for the American people, which are...
This is what will be left of the present America. What will happen is that the National Archives Battle of 2040 will say the regions fighting over the Constitution and Declaration. The documents now rotate between capital like become relics of fallen civilization. Washington DC will stand as a neutral museum district. The National Mall will become a memorial park to a nation that once existed. So this is the end, just like the Roman Empire, which are never conquered from outside by anybody, but conquered from within with the mad king. Their mad was Caesar and his associates, and all the senators walked and nobody was prepared to take the charge. And here, this is what this dog is going to do to you unless you impeach him. Get him out and get his dog out of the leash and put him to rest and change the regime over there. Have sane people, and all these three, stop them from traveling to anywhere. Arrest them, hand them over, let them die and have natural death with the International Court of Justice. This is what's happening, and wake up before this happens to you. And this is the timeline I've given to you for the fall and the breakup of American Empire. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry this has become a little long, but I had no choice but to give you facts and a timeline.